Caregiving can become all-consuming and overwhelming because they are desperate to maintain the quality of life for their loved one. However, if they are not well, they will no longer be able to do this. So we really encourage people to make time for themselves, to look at their week, their month, their 6 months, their year schedule, and block time for themselves, to accept help when people offer it, knowing that people only offer it when they mean it.
People with Alzheimer's or dementia, they always have someone to look after them, always, from the time they're diagnosed. But there's no one to look after the caregiver. So this is where they have to reach out.
A caregiver cannot be sick because it's hard to look after self and look after somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's. I have a great support group that I go to once a month. That's for me.
Asking your family for help, family for support, as a group making decisions so it's not all on one person and that you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world. Share that with your family. Everyone is there to help.
Being a person who's a caregiver for someone with dementia is a journey, and it's really important to be patient with yourself and patient with the person who has dementia, because neither one of you have ever been in this particular situation before, and it's really a learning process as you go.
They will need to, aggressively take time for themselves because it becomes immersive. It becomes everything, just that caregiver role. And we see that sometimes when the person with dementia maybe moves into a different care setting or looked after by others, that the caregiver, that's a really difficult time for them.
You have to have something to do besides caring 24/7. So having a hobby, going for a walk, going to the swimming pool. I learned to use my crafts and keep busy with different crafts.
I do a lot of quilting, and I find that that is really enjoyable for me. I have a studio that's mine, and it's quiet, and I play music, and even simple things like a bubble bath with candles.
I many times found myself running into a wall of being tired or being not centered emotionally. If you're not on your game, then there can be some really negative consequences. And so those concepts definitely tie in or play into my role as my mother's caregiver, that I need to be centered and feeling good about where I am, because if I walk into her house and I'm off my game, she is on to me right away.
I think the frustration was a struggle. Some days were just, when you don't have any problems and you're frustrated, you've had a bad day at work, your cameras aren't working, your doctor's late, and you missed your bus and you got a flat tire. Life's full of frustrations. And I think one has to have a sense of humor. I think you have to be optimistic. And I think you have to rely on what is there for you in the way of help and accept it.
When you're trying to find that time for yourself, you do have to understand the boundaries are important. One of the things I found is if I didn't do that, I got frustrated. And I didn't like how I felt when I got frustrated. And I didn't want to be that way with Dad. I wanted to be loving and understanding because I knew that he couldn't help what was happening and it wasn't his fault. If I was taking time for myself, I was much, much better with him and I could enjoy him a lot more.
I had a group of friends who we hike with twice a week, which has actually been a lifesaver for me. We hike 8 to 10 kilometers a couple of times a week, and we go out for lunch, which is an absolute wonder for me. I also sing with a choir, and that's again another 70 people socializing.
Being a caregiver for someone with a dementia is a long journey. It's not something that's a year, it's years. I've had caregivers say to me, it feels like I'm losing my loved one piece by piece. And that's really painful.
Because it's a long, drawn-out process often, it's not nice, neat stages. That people vacillate between different aspects of anger or depression or denial. And But ultimately, it is a very slow grieving process.
This is not like losing a loved one that's died, or a parent or whatever. This is a continuous voyage. It's a non-ending thing. So from my point, this is not going to end. So it's there forever. So I have to take care of that.
I love working with caregivers. They inspire me every day. They have so much courage to do what they do. And I even more love working with people with dementia who have an incredible amount of courage in just sort of facing up to this disease and living with it day to day and learning to live well with it. And I think I really believe that you can live well with dementia.
Yours is not the same story as everybody else's. It's going to be a journey. There will be highs and lows, but to be in the present, to honor what's happening today for you and your loved one. And the good days are the good days. And the days when funny things happen are also the days to laugh. That's, I think, the best advice that I would give to somebody.
Has my mom changed through this process? Has her personality changed? You know, her behaviors have changed, but the essence of who she is has not. We go through episodes of things such as paranoia. You know, definitely we have long periods of very deep confusion. But when we get to that place of connecting, that is my mom. She is still there. And she loves to feel that I see that she's still there.